All right. So here we are, the final event, Grandfather Elk Revolution, Mono Wild versus Yogg's, Mono Ruby Angus the Barbecuer. Yogg's with the higher seed chooses to go first, lays down a Ruby shard, and appears to be passing the turn. Literally everyone who's played against Ruby at this point is going, yay! Wild Shard from Revolution. Literally every single person who's played against Mono Wild at this point is seeing Not a Brave and going, yay! Remember when Ancestors Chosen was a one-drop people cared about? Rage Fire! Rage Fire on Revolution from Yogg's opening hand.
That's
a main deck.
Is that main?
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting.
A lot of people running Runear right now.
Yeah, no, that's true. It is good.
Scorn of Oberon. Many, many, many moons ago, a streamer by the name of Penchills looked at that card and said, this card one day is going to be really good. He was kind of wrong, but at this point, it's a good card. I thought it was better than... I still overvalue it, I think. But I've done some nutty things with that.
It can definitely pull some good blowouts, but it's just nice, solid value.
We see Crackling Bolt and possibly a Fireball. Everything being used to remove the Justicar from the board, letting the damage swing through. Succulent Cluckodon comes down. Thankfully, a Baby Yeti there to chew up. 4 health gain for Revolution, who is still in a tight spot here, already on 12 health. And the 5th Ruby Threshold comes down, and here comes Matriarch of Flames, who is now going to be able to generate a burn to the ground just for existing.
Yeah. Ham is just a little too slow here, I think. Even with a relatively good opener with Cluckodon, didn't have the acceleration.
There's the burn to the ground to the face, which makes you wonder if Yogg's is just playing to the outs of Crackling Bolt and whatnot, or if he's choosing to just because he knows he should be creating another one next turn.
Yeah, might already have it.
At this point, Revolution needs something that his hand doesn't have, so he... Well, no, that's not good enough. That's not good enough! So this should be a concession.
Even with gaining the health here, just any kind of resource at all, and you're just dead.
Well, it's a swing, right? Well, yeah.
Because he's got to have
he still has to hit
one more resource. Yeah.
Or a Fireball, or a Crackling Bolt, or, you know, like...
Yep. Lots of ways to win here.
There's the Mama Yeti, which...
Yep, that also counts.
Well, that's not lethal yet. I mean, I can't imagine...
Yeah, it's not lethal, but you're just going to be dead next turn anyway.
Yeah. Well, game 1 of the finals going to, very quickly, over to Yogg's.
Yeah, still dead just to the burn to the ground.
But we do know for a relative fact that we've seen Lullaby, and Mono Wild, if anybody, is the deck that can beat Angus. So while he has to now pull 2 games out, Revolution is sitting on what I can only imagine is the perfect deck, right? Like Balthazar's, Cluckodons, Carnosaurs, Crocosaurs and Lullabies. Yeah, and we've seen more than one Justicar of Arendelle in his deck, which is possibly the tightest possible response for the early psychotic anarchists and whatnot. Being on the play here is extremely good for Revolution.
So I definitely agree. There's a few minor things that would make it better, like Clobbergon, but overall, yes, this deck and this build of it is good.
Claude, I realize he has to get to 6 resources to be able to Balthazar, but like you still have to acknowledge that a Balthazar locks the game out in a lot of cases. Like, not many 6 drops in these kind of situations say, if I play this, I am very likely going to win the game as a result of having played this.
And especially for this deck, because there's so many 4/4s. Like, the fact that you're playing Justicar, you don't need to gain, 10 cards for it to be worth it, or 6 health. Just getting 4 off of your Balthazar, totally fine.
Here we see Crackling Bolt used on the Brave. Might Singer's played. Wild Shard is played much like whenever I play a Wild Shard with a Might Singer. Nothing happens. Hacky, do you get to draw cards off your Might Singers very often?
About half the time. It's about average.
Here we see the Matriarch of Flames. Now this is of course an aggressive move from Yoggz, who is likely to take 6 damage here, if not more. It's possible that Revolution goes for the crush here. Unlikely. 5 Wild Threshold in hand. This game is likely to be just as fast, but in the favor of Revolution. Yep. If we see removal on the Might Singer, it's not enough. Yeah, I mean this has to be removal on the Might Singer and maybe like a Baby Yeti to block. And we are going to see the concession, and we're going to go to game 3. So the match tied up. Now the ball back in the Mono Ruby player's court literally just needs to keep the pressure up. Turn 1 Baby Yeti, turn 2 Psychotic, turn 3 Matriarch, turn 4 Mama Yeti is almost unbeatable even for the deck that's built to beat it. Like, that's an incredibly good line, so we'll see what happens. Whoever starts win is not necessarily the way it goes hack and slay, but it is a very big advantage in this particular matchup.
Yeah, that I would agree with that. It's very much who wins the coin flip is favored to win. That is true.
I would strongly put a 10 to 15% advantage to the person playing first if you consider the matchups.
Yep.
We are going to see the Emberspire Witch from Yoggz, which is an attempt to shut down the health gain mechanics that Revolution has brought in or already has in his deck. And we're going to see the Crocosaur interact here. It's going to destroy the Emberspire Witch and gain health because both troops leave the field before the trigger of gaining health. As far as I have been made aware, that is how that works. Matriarch of Flames follow-up will push 3 damage through.
It works the way that you want it to work, basically.
Here we're going to see the Shard into Chlorophilia into Might Singer line. Revolution did, of course, have the opportunity to do the reverse and go Might Singer into Shard, but with no Chlorophilia to potentially draw troops off the top of the deck. But that's not necessarily an issue here. Baby Yeti hits the ground. Baby Yeti hits the ground. Actually, this is... Oh, and then the Crackling Bolt to deal with the Matriarch. All right. 6 damage coming through. But on 4 resources, we know Revolution has the Cluckadon.
Yeah, and Cluckadon is exactly why going for the Chlorophilia first is better. It's not about cards in this matchup, it's making sure you can get to your Cluckadons.
Yep, and noticeably he missed a Shard there, so I mean he technically would have drawn, but Psychotic Anarchist hits the ground. No Shard here is huge for Revolution, knowing that burn to the ground won't be created just for the Matriarch swinging. Never mind that the Matriarch isn't big enough to get over, but the follow-up play to the block is a Fireball getting rid of the Cluckadon.
Oh boy!
Here's the Wild Shard, so the Crocosaur hits the ground, going to clear up the board and stay alive. Is this Revolution stabilizing on 14?
Get your flowchart ready.
Stomp Stomp Growl has never been so appropriate. You can even see it in chat. We play again. Now.
No.
This is
no.
This is the important thing to remember. Yoggz is the higher seed and gets to decide whether to choose to go first or second, and Revolution got here through the loser's bracket. As the loser's bracket champion, Revolution has to defeat the winner's bracket champion twice in a row, meaning we have a second best of 3 where Yogs gets to choose to go first. And these players are immediately back up into it.
Oh, man.
Croc concede my ladder life.
But everything otherwise is all evened up, so one best of 3 is all that remains in the FiveShards Cup of Fate.
So this year's For All the Marbles, friendly reminder, there is about $300 difference between first and second place. Thereabouts. Turn 1, Baby Yeti. For everyone complaining about 2-minute games, just remember that, you know, like the people of our planet, hex games come in all shapes and varieties.
Yeah, I mean, we had both. We had the 2-minute games, and we also had the getting down to 6 cards left in your deck on both sides games.
Yeah, you got your interesting grinder already. We can have some quick games. Come on now. Chlorophilia into Howling Brave is the likely play here. On the other side of the board, Psychotic Anarchist and Baby Yeti are scary. Psychotic Anarchist, to me, is the single scariest card in the Mono Ruby deck, because the thing about aggressive decks is that they will tend to win if they continue to keep tempo and have more cards than you. Your decision as the non-aggressive deck is to maintain board control eventually, to stabilize. And it's very hard to stabilize when your opponent draws an extra card every turn, even if you're also drawing an extra card, as weird as that is.
No, it definitely makes sense, because the tempo loss is the problem. Your opponent's is able to spend their cards faster, and they're built to do more with their fewer resources.
Yeah. So actually, right here, we see a couple of people in chat talking about a perfect curve out, which, if you look at it, Yogs did curve out very well, but he also got 2 extra draws there. Game 1 in match 2 of the finals goes to Yogs. Players will go to reserves. And again, while it might seem like Angus can just very quickly destroy and run through a group of people very quickly, Mono Wild is the deck with the answers to it and gets to be on the play here. Look at this. See, now, these are the kind of comments that I like to discourage, because there's some skill in bringing the right deck to the tournament. Of the 64 players here, both of these players have made it to the top of the list for some reason or the other.
Right.
And it's not just, oh, I got all my luck in every Mono Ruby game.
Yeah, exactly what Shosny said, and I encourage the same thing to other people who ask me they were high seeds. If you were a high seed, you know you're going to get the play in this tournament. Playing Angus makes sense. That was the right play.
And he performed well in the previous tournaments to get there.
Yep, exactly.
So no turn 1 Brave from Revolution this turn, but a turn 1 Baby Yeti from Yogs. Nice draw off the top there. If you could have chosen to draw a card there, Hacky.
Perfect.
Probably have chosen Carnosaurus.
Yeah. On a scale of 1 to 100, how many times do you think you'd have picked that Carnosaur? In fact, if we could just draw another Carnosaur, that'd be fine. Psychotic Anarchist. That will likely attempt to swing in.
Yeah, and then it's like, I gain 2 health, and I will trade this Carnosaur for your card advantage. Yeah.
That Carnosaur worth 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 health, something like that. 2 that it gained, 5 damage that it prevented, something like that.
So if you were to draw a card with your Might Singer, we know that this doesn't happen, but if you were to draw a card, what would you like to draw?
The follow-up Psychotic Anarchist. Now, I believe this is the correct decision, throwing away Might Singer of Ages for Psychotic Anarchist, bearing in mind that, a lot of people on the ladder like to be like, no, I got to protect my Might Singer of Ages. No, your health is super, super important in this matchup.
No, yeah, trading in this matchup is exactly the right call. The only time I might consider it is if I already had the 5 thresholds and I thought I could win the race. Most of the time, not right.
And we see the Mama Yeti drop down. The Wrathwood Mastermoss checks that very, very well here. So now the natural issue becomes the Matriarchs, because the Matriarchs are, without spending 2 cards, the matriarchs are the two ways, or are the ways that the Ruby deck can come back from this board state. And if you ever see a shard be played, you know there's no matriarch around.
Right.
So we see the swing here. This might be a burn. Like, this might be Mama Yeti going to then burn them. Yeah. Or Lasgar's Vengeance clears the board. Okay. Oh. Revolution probably feeling bad about that. Lasgar's Vengeance, one of the...
He's okay with that.
He's probably okay with it. He's probably okay with it, but seeing the Lasgar's Vengeance is still kind of scary. That is Ruby's... You know, I was talking about the matriarchs. Lasgar's Vengeance is actually Ruby's card to win this one. Now, we talked about Balthazar costing 6. Yeah. Sounds like we're losing Jason for a bit.
Hold on. Yeah.
Balthazar cost 6, but we got there. Survived against Ruby enough, and there it is.
And then how does Ruby ever come back from gain 8 health? Right? Like, they have a hard enough time dealing with Soothing Breeze, but what about gain 8 health, draw 9 cards? Like, whoa.
I wish there was a Ruby Balthazar.
Levis says Vengeance is a must against Wild. I agree. Oh, and we see Revolution keep the opening hand here. Yogs keeps his opening hand. Turn 1, Baby Yeti once again. First point of damage, first blood, 21-17. Howling Brave off the top. Probably the only card Revolution would have been happy pulling right there. You know, just like in a mindset, giving him the ability to accelerate his resources if need be.
And at the very least, drawing out a Crackling Bolt.
Yep. Which, you know, that's 3 points of damage that didn't go to Revolution's face. Now the Carnosaur comes down, gains 2 health, destroys a troop, creates board advantage, gains health. Yogg's on the other side of the board. You know, maybe that's a better target for his Crackling Bolt. So we'll see what he has. He has Matriarch of Flames, which can stomp over the Carnosaur. The Carnosaur can't get in the way of that. So there's that 3 points of damage again. The charge power is available for Yogs, who will deal 4 points of damage with that. So you have to bear that in mind if you're Revolution right now. You're already at 15, which is kind of low. And every resource that the Matriarch plays... Oh, and we're going to see 2 Matriarchs, probably a Ruby Shard. Yeah, so these will both become 4/4s. There's the charge power. Revolution goes to 15. He's probably going to double block.
Yeah. Well, then he's got another plan. He's going to try. Which is, I think it's a good plan. But it doesn't stop one particular thing, and that is...
It's not going to stop the burn to the ground.
Exactly. But he doesn't have his 5th resource yet. Loses the Might Singer to the to a Fireball, but that's also a Fireball not being used in the face. So what is that last card? Might Singer drawing a card.
Also, to be fair, that's one more card in Yogg's hand, which isn't a resource. Mama Yeti comes down. That's still not a resource. It's going to be the biggest lullaby of the season, stopping a total of a bajillion damage at this point in the game.
And now Might Singer of Ages is +5/+5 is at 7/7. Can block all of this. Looks like he will play Justicar.
What's he going to choose to do here? Is he going to swing with the Might Singer? I think he has to.
He is. Bringing Angus down to 10. Which is conveniently 7 plus a charge
second
power.
lullaby picked up. Is it a shard? The shard will create 2 burn to the grounds. Getting rid of the Might Singer, being able to block it is paramount here, but we see the full swing from Yogs, who's attempting to bust through. There's the lullaby. Yogs says good games, pulling it out of the loser's bracket and taking 2 matches against Mono Ruby on the play. Revolution is the Cup of Fate victor. Holy dang. Those were quick games.
Those were quick games, and congratulations to Revolution.
If you guys can hear this, just play another 2 matches.
You got time.
Whew. Man, that is... Yeah, good game. Good games. Now, everyone's talking about how those are quick games, but those are still those are still really fun games of Hex. Quick games can be good games of Hex. Man, and we've already said our spiel a little bit earlier today, or I said it for you guys, but once again, this was the Cup of Fate Season 4 sponsored by Hex Colin. We cannot thank Colin enough. There are literally not enough words. Congratulations to my teammate Revolution. Woo! Rigged.
We've replaced Revolution with the spoiler because he's obviously the spoiler in this finals match.
He spoiled the Mono Ruby dream. Now, of course, if you're Yogs, you're still making $500 in 50-cent 5-packs, which is pretty friggin' good. We've done some door prizes. We're going to have streamer prizes going out later. There was thousands of dollars in prizes today.
This is a 2.5K tournament.
Yeah.
At the least.
Very
then product and stuff. Oh, man. If you want to play in the Cup of Fate Season 5, you get your start next month with the Blood Cup.
So, just as a final sign-off, this has been Nicholas Pedrasky, running everything on the stream and shoutcasting as well today. Patrick Sarmiento.
It was a excellent cup to cast. I will see you all next time.
Gone away to put groceries away because I'm pretty sure is Jason Barnett, and fast asleep over in the land of Britain is Paul Spencer. You guys have an awesome evening, afternoon, morning, wherever it is, wherever you are. Have fun in your games. Thanks for watching, and stay lucky.